Hi guys, happy Friday. We're back for our read aloud, Spring According to Humphrey. Trying to sit in different places in the house. I get tired of sitting in the same place. So we're in the middle of chapter 5 and we're going to finish it and see how far we get today. Okay, remember Humphrey is still at Just Joey's house and they just got some tadpoles. So they're thinking of taking them back to the classroom. And here we go. Skipper raced through the door. I felt jumpy, but once again, he didn't even come close to the cage. He just flopped down on the floor and fell asleep. Phew. Joey didn't take his eyes off the aquarium. Humphrey, I can't wait to see those little specks grow heads and tails and feet and just keep growing until they are real frogs. I crossed my paws and hoped they would, but I wasn't sure at all. I had never seen Joey so excited. He's usually quiet, and sometimes I think he doesn't realize how many things he can do. He's good at art and knows a lot about animals, and he's very good at taking care of me. In fact, I think he'd make a positively great animal doctor. Joey eagerly read the instruction booklet that came with the thingies. Oh, I get it, he said as he read. Then he looked at me and said, Here's how it works, Humphrey. These are like eggs in a yolk. They'll feed on the yolk and pretty soon they'll become tadpoles. Eek, I squeaked. Joey read on. Any day now they'll get legs and a head, and after a while, arms. Frogs have arms? I wondered. Then the tadpole will look like a small frog with a long tail, Joey said. Wow, this is the most exciting thing that ever happened to me. It was nice to see Joey so happy, happy, happy. Did I tell you they're leopard frogs? Joey asked. No, 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 I squeaked. I have seen pictures of the creatures called leopards. They are strong and beautiful with spotted fur, but their teeth are large, sharp, and fearsome, much worse than the teeth of a dog. Just thinking about leopards made my tail twitch and my whiskers wiggle. I may be friends with a frog, but I don't think I could ever be friends with a leopard. Does the book mention if leopard frogs have teeth? I squeaked. How I wish Joey could understand me. Og may have an enormous mouth, but at least he doesn't have teeth. It takes a while to turn into a frog, but it will sure be something to see, Joey said. Then he leaped up. As he ran out of the room, he said, I've got to call Dad to say thank you. I'm used to sitting in my cage next to a tank containing a frog. I'm not used to sitting in my cage next to a tank containing specks. I turned to stare at them, but they didn't say anything. Hello, I finally squeaked. I'm Humphrey. I'm a hamster. They didn't even say boing. How rude. I needed to get a better look at the specks, but I waited until that night when Joey was in bed. I hardly ever open my lock that doesn't lock when a human is in the room, but I could see by the glow of Joey's nightlight that he was sound asleep. I jiggled the lock open without making any noise. Then I slowly walked over to the aquarium, which was lit by the nightlight as well. There they were, 2 specks in a clear jelly-like goo. I stared at them. They didn't move. They didn't do anything. They looked like 2 eyeballs staring back. They certainly looked more like eyeballs than frogs. I watched for a while, but to squeak the truth, the specks were pretty boring, so I scurried back to my cage and quietly pulled the cage door shut. It was hard to understand why Joey was so excited about the tadpoles, but then humans are always hard to understand. When Joey jumped up out of bed the next morning, he raced to the aquarium to look at the specks. Good morning, Joey, I squeaked. Hi, Humphrey, he said without even looking at me. Just checking out the tadpoles. He leaned in close and stared at them. I'm pretty sure they didn't do anything. When he finally straightened up and looked at me, he said, "Nothing yet." Then he perked up. "Oh, I need to draw a picture of them for the bulletin board." I didn't think it would take a long time to draw 2 specks. Seconds, maybe? But Joey leaned over a piece of paper with his colored pencils and drew and drew and drew. He used several crayons, even though there wasn't much to draw. At one point, Joey's mom said, "Hey, Joey, how about breakfast?" "Coming soon," he called back. "I've got to get this right." When he was finished, he inspected it and then nodded his head. "Not too bad." Then he jumped up and ran out of the room. "See you later, Humphrey." I was pretty sure that eating breakfast took a while, so once the coast was clear, I jiggled my lock that doesn't lock and scurried over to look at Joey's drawing. It's not easy for a small hamster to look at a large piece of paper, but I studied what Joey had drawn, and it was beautiful. Where I'd seen 2 specks in clear jelly, Joey had seen so much more. When I glanced at the aquarium, I saw that the jelly really was yellow and green and shimmering. I couldn't risk being caught outside of my cage, so I raced back and closed the door behind me. When Joey returned from breakfast, he took some photos of the specks. "I want to show Dad what they look like," he said. Then he took a picture of me. I stood still and smiled. I'm not sure he could tell I was smiling, but Joey said, "Great." He raced out of the room again. I haven't seen him so excited in a long time, I squeaked out loud. The specks had nothing to say. Humphrey's spring things. Can a speck become a frog? Did a speck turn into Og? That's the end of chapter 5. We're going to stop there for today. Chapter 6 is called Swim, Swim, Swim. We'll read it together on Monday. All right, have a great day. Bye.